This is a quick practice to provide a little pick me up, a little natural, healthy energy. Many of my clients who suffer from chronic pain also suffer from fatigue. We know that these things do go hand in hand. And what I see a lot with my clients is that they resort to some things that are not really helpful for them in the long term to get a little energy to get through their day. Things like energy drinks and coffee, sometimes just snacking just to keep yourself alert and awake. While all of these things can provide a little energy boost, overall, they are not good for your chronic pain issue. So this practice will combine some nice somatic movements, some yin poses, and also a breathing exercise known as Nadi Shodhana, which is known to provide a little boost of energy via sympathetic activation. So all you need for your practice is actually a yoga mat. I'm going to have you come down to your belly. You're going to start on your belly with your head toward what you think should be the front of your mat. It doesn't really matter a lot today. And because we are doing just a really quick little pick-me-up practice, I'm going to have you bring your forehead to the mat and your palms to frame your chest. So your elbows are pointing up, your palms are flat, framing your chest, and just gently begin to press into the left hand. So you feel yourself tilt over to the right. You feel yourself roll onto the right temple and then do the opposite. Push with the right hand and roll to the left temple. There's no need to press your forehead down. Just allow the natural weight of the head, which is already quite heavy, to roll side to side on your mat. And feel your shoulders move. Feel your ribs move. If it's hard for you to get your forehead all the way down onto the mat, you can always have your forehead on a blanket. Just kind of fold it up until it's the right amount of height. Nice and easy. Start to use the breath. Next time you're in the center, you're just going to stay put. Bring your feet wider. Push down with your hands to help you come up just to a tabletop and walk your knees slightly forward, just slightly forward. So they're mid-mat or slightly behind mid-mat. And then use your hands to push your hips toward your heels. By no means should your hips be on your heels. My hips don't even come to my heels. Walk your hands over to the right so they're actually off of your yoga mat. And then come down to the left elbow. Bring your head down just to the inside of that left elbow and then bring your right arm down as well. So both elbows resting on the floor. Your head is resting just to the inside of your left arm. So you're getting really a nice side bend. And I'd like for you to treat each inhale like a little yawn. So you might even feel the roof of your mouth lift up a little bit, the back of your throat widen like it would at the beginning of a yawn. And if you actually do yawn, it's totally fine. We all know that yawning happens when we're feeling a little sleepy. And though we don't exactly know why we yawn, we think it provides a little reset, a little extra oxygen to the system, help you get a little bit more alert. Let's do 3 more of these beginning of a yawn in breaths in your crescent child's pose. Here's the final one. Nice slow breaths. Feel the roof of the mouth rise. Nice soft exhale, and then bring your hands back again so they're about under your shoulders planted, and help yourself back up and back to your tabletop. Back to your tabletop. And then just slide your left knee forward just to the inside of your left thumb and sit your rear end down onto the floor. So you're kind of sitting behind your heel, your left heel. Bring your right heel a little bit closer to your butt too, so that right leg is like in a hairpin. And if your knee doesn't have a whole lot of flexion, it's okay. You don't have to bring it all the way to your butt. Bring your hands down to frame your left knee. That's the front knee. And just swing your ribs forward and then over to the right. And forward and over to the left. Just nice and easy. So we're kind of doing this rolling side to side, like you already did on your forehead and with your shoulders. So we're just moving lower into the chain. And keep that breath really nice and expansive. The breath is such an amazing and effective and natural way to influence your nervous systems. Now, in my content, we're often talking about calming the systems, but sometimes we can use the breath to activate the systems so that we can avoid resorting to other forms of artificial energy that may not be beneficial in the long term. So next time your ribs swing to the left, actually, I'd like for you to swing them back and then over to the right and then forward and to the left. So it's just a small movement. It's not a huge movement, okay? So it's almost like you're inside a barrel and you're scraping the sides of the barrel with your ribs. Let's do one more. And then the next time your ribs are forward, you're going to stay. Lean into your left hand and turn your heart to the right. So your heart is toward the long edge of your mat. And then just slip your left thigh under your right thigh. So both of your knees are bent, both knees pointed to the side. And then come down onto your left side. Come down onto your left side. And bring your hands back behind your head as you roll your heart open toward the ceiling. By the way, your knees don't need to stay together. My right knee picks up off of my left knee. That's just how I'm shaped, and probably like you are too, at least on one side. So we'll keep the knees, the hips mostly like they are, but I'd like for you to turn your face to the right and slide your right elbow down like you want to tap it on your hip. By the way, you're not going that far. You're going about an inch. And then as your hands come back to the center, cradling your head in your hands, so everything is happening with the arms, you're going to bring your left elbow down like you want to tap it on your left ribs. Your face turns to the left. Okay? Turn your face up as the elbows return to the center. Turn it to the right as your elbows come down. Bring yourself back to the center, face up, over to the left. Turn your face to the left. So you may have noticed that when you wake up, you do some movement, right? You kind of stretch out a little bit. And it's really a special stretch. Like you don't do that stretch all the time. We call this special kind of stretch pandiculating. Yes, pandiculating. A pandiculation is just a normal, natural human movement that we do to sort of reset. It kind of gives the nervous system like an opportunity to just rest for a moment, reset itself, and then wake up, basically. So treat this movement. You're going to do 2 more to each side. Face turns left as the elbows move left. Treat it like that morning stretch, right? That kind of lifting of your heart, really getting all the muscles sort of involved. You know, sometimes you do that stretch and you yawn And so sometimes you even like shake a little or your eyes tear. This is all part of the pandiculation experience. And the next time you come to the center, I'm going to have you actually stay. Release the hands from behind the head and reach the arms out to the sides. And then take your index finger and middle finger of your right hand and place them on your forehead between your eyebrows, what in yoga we would call the third eye. And bring your fourth finger to press into your left nostril. So you're kind of closing it. And with that fourth finger pressing into the left nostril, breathe in and out through your right nostril. So continue to close left, breathe in and out softly into your right nostril. Do 2 more rounds of your Surya Bedana, we call it. And then release the mudra. That's the gesture with your hand. Release that. Just let both arms rest on the floor. If you'd like, you could anchor the right knee with the left hand. And just notice how you feel after your efforts. Notice your energy. We'll take just a couple more breaths now in the supine twist. I get a really nice, calm rush from that Surya Bedana. Okay, just one more breath and your little pick-me-up practice. We don't have a lot of time for long holds. Roll back over onto your left side. Roll into your hands and help yourself back up to that tabletop position with your knees nice and wide and your big toes together. Use your hands to press your hips toward your heels. Your hips and your heels do not need to touch. You could have your butt way up in the air. It doesn't matter. Walk your hands over to the left this time. And bring your right elbow down. Bring your right temple down just to the inside of the elbow. And then bring the left elbow down. It doesn't matter if the arms are straight or bent. It really does not matter. I would, though, like for you to try to cultivate a nice feeling of yawning that right side body, along with your yawning inhales. So remember, those inhales are like the beginning of a yawn. At the beginning of a yawn, you feel your soft palate lift up, your throat widen. You might feel a little tingle in your sinuses. Just 2 more breaths here. 2 more yawning in breaths. And then bring yourself back to the center. Bring your palms down. Help yourself back up to your tabletop. And then slide your right knee just to the inside of your right thumb. So it's right there at the root of the thumb. Your foot slides out from under your thigh, so you can just drop your butt down to the right edge of the mat. Left knee bends a little bit more. You may need to correct the position also of that left thigh just to make sure you're comfortable. And then bring your hands down to frame your right knee. And just start swinging the ribs forward, right, and left. We'll stay with the forward for now. And remember that pendiculating that we did when we came into the twist. See if you can add the beginning of a pendiculation, a beginning of that first morning stretch that you do. And if you tip all the way in to the full pendiculation, it's okay. Go for it. Sometimes it's hard to stop that train once it starts rolling. Next time your ribs swing over to the right, go ahead and roll them back and to the left and forward and right and back. Go slow, please. Go slow. Please don't think you need the hugest range of motion here. You're not going to get much because of the position of your right leg, right? It's definitely limiting. Let's do a couple more nice and slow. Nice calm breath. Ideally, what we will cultivate is a calm alertness rather than that jittery, nervous, anxious alertness. Okay. So the next time your ribs are forward, keep them. And then lean into your right hand. Look to the left. So your whole heart is facing the left side. And then slide your right thigh under your left thigh. So the thighs are stacked, knees are pointed to the side of the mat. And then come down onto your right side, all the way onto your right side. By the way, if you need something under your head, you can take it. You can grab your blanket or your pillow. And then bring your hands behind your head, elbows nice and wide, which then they'll stay wide as you roll your heart open. So the elbows stay wide throughout. Use your hands to draw your head to the left. So your face is going to turn to the left. Your elbows remain wide, but your left elbow tries to come down toward your hip. It's only going to move a couple inches. And then come back through center. Turn your face to the right. Right elbow comes down like you want to tap it on your right hip. Face turns up. Elbows stay wide. Go to the left. And you already know what's up here. So find that pendiculation. It's so much like that first stretch you do in the morning, right? You put your hands behind your head. You kind of curve your back a little bit. You lift your heart. You open your throat. Let's do two more. Okay. Next time you come through center, just stay. Rest your head on the floor. Let your arms open up. Left knee may or may not be on top of the right knee. My knee hovers a little bit. You could put something between your knees, though, if you need. And once again, you're going to take the right hand and bring your middle finger, index finger to the third eye. Bring the fourth finger to press into the outside of the left nostril and just close that nostril. Breathe in through the right and then hold at the top. You'll hold for about 3-4 seconds and then exhale calmly. Hold for a little bit at the bottom too. And when you feel ready, inhale again. Hold. Exhale, nice and calm. Take a pause there at the bottom. And then do it again. We're going to do about 4 more rounds of the Surya Bedna with the retention. So inhaling and hold. Exhaling, brief hold. We've got 3 more rounds. One more round. And then after that last exhale, just let the 2 arms widen. Let's take a few breaths in your supine twist and enjoy all the feelings, interesting stuff. Let's just take one more breath here in the supine twist. So this time, you won't be rolling to your side. You're actually going to roll to your back. And again, feel free to put something under the back of your head if needed. Bring your hips to the center of the mat. And I would like for you, please, to keep your 2 feet flat on the floor. But for some of us, it feels kind of good to have the heels wide and the knees falling together. That's an option for you. So take a couple of breaths now that you're on your back again, just to feel what has been stirred up. And then please roll to your side, the side of your choice. Help yourself all the way up to a seated position, sitting on the blanket or a pillow if you need to. And you can sit however you need to. So you could have your legs wide, you could have one knee bent, both legs bent, Sukhasana, it's up to you. And then once again, I'm going to have you take your index finger and middle finger of the right hand back to the third eye space right there between the eyebrows. Once again, press the 4th finger into the left nostril and breathe in through the right. And breathe out through the right. Now take your thumb, press it into the outside of the right nostril. Breathe in left. And out left. So you're breathing only in one nostril at a time, in and out. Now close left, breathe in right. And out right. Now close right, breathe in left. And out left. And continue. So every time it's time to breathe in, you're going to switch. Let's do one more full round. And you'll finish with an out breath on the right. So the next time you exhale through the right, you're going to let your hands rest, coming down to the thighs or the knees. Sitting in a nice, calm, but alert posture. Notice what has been stirred up. Notice how you feel. Notice your energy. Thank you so much for practicing with me.